A very good morning to you all. In our previous class, we discussed a concept called dynamic memory allocation. Okay, static memory allocation, we said whatever variables we are declaring in our program, they will occupy the memory from stack. Under our conceptual view of program memory, we said it is divided into many parts, and two of the most important parts are one is stack and the other one is heap. And whatever static variables we are declaring, they will consume the memory from the stack. And we don't have much flexibility of memory management under this stack concept. But whereas heap, dynamic memory allocation will be done from the heap, and we do have different methods or different operators or different functions through which we can manage the memory from this heap. Okay, so basically the advantages of allocating the memory from heap, the drawbacks of allocating the memory from stack, all those things we discussed in our previous video. The operator delete and operator new, the purpose of using them in dynamic memory allocation, to allocate the memory, we said we use new operator, and to deallocate the memory or to release the memory, we said we are going to use the delete operator. Okay, everything we discussed in detail with example programs, isn't it? In today's class, we'll be discussing a concept called namespaces. Okay, namespaces in C++. So to understand the importance of these namespaces, let us take a quick example, a simple example. So let us assume in your classroom, we have two students with same name. We have two students with same name, and let us assume the name is some Ahmad. Okay, so how we are going to differentiate them? When you are saying Ahmad, how we are going to differentiate them? Because both the people, both the students here, in my case, they are having the same name. So in order to differentiate them, yes, the university has given some standardized roll numbers, and based on that roll number, we are differentiating them, isn't it? So based on the roll number, we are differentiating them. So in that, similar situation may arise in your programming when you take the same identifier for more than one objects, isn't it? For more than one objects. When I'm saying objects over here, they can be your data members, they can be your class names, they can be your function names, they can be your normal variable names. Okay, so the identifiers, when we are taking with the same name, I mean the same identifier, when we are taking for more than one entity, more than one object, a naming conflict will occur. Inside the same scope, when we are taking more than one entity with the same name, a naming conflict will occur. Simple terms, naming conflict, in the sense, in simple terms, your compiler will get confused to consider what, when you are giving a name, whether it has to consider uh, uh, object 1 with that name, or whether it has to consider the object 2 with that same name. So there is a naming conflict. There is a naming conflict in your programming. So generally your compiler, in such situations, it simply arises an exception. It simply arises an error condition. It will list out that error, that more than one object or more than one entity is having the same name in your programming. Because of that, I'm unable to consider it, or I'm unable to execute it. In that way, your compiler will raise exceptions, raise errors. So to avoid that kind of situation, we are going for a concept called namespaces. So it is very simple to understand. A namespace in your program, it will give a different scope for your program. So as long as that namespace exists in your programming, it will have a different scope, rather than, I mean, apart from your program. Apart from your program, it will have a separate scope. It will have a different scope. So yes, so let us assume we have different library files which are already defined, which are already written, which are already given by the developers. The developers have given many predefined files. IOStream is one such file. IOStream is one such file, and inside that IOStream we have a specific name scope. Inside that IOStream we have a specific namespace. So whatever functions we are declaring in that file, all those will come under that name scope. And for our understanding, we will consider the standard namespace in C++ programming is std. So every namespace is going to have a specific name. Every namespace, how we are going to differentiate the namespaces in the sense with their names itself. Okay, again, the namespaces are going to have their own names. By using that names only, we are going to separate the namespaces. Okay, so under that standard libraries, we are going to have a standard namespace, and that namespace is nothing but your std. Std namespace name is std. That is the reason why in every program we are using that namespace. Using namespace std, we are writing that statement on top of every program. After including the header file, we must and should have to write that statement so that the scope of those header files will start inside our program. The scope of those header files will start inside our program. So that is the only sole reason for including that std namespace in our programming. Okay, so once you use that namespace inside your program, whatever object, whatever entities you have, whatever predefined entities you have under that namespace, all those will become available inside your program. All those will become available inside your program. Like we have cout, cin. The purpose of cout is to print something on the output screen. It is a function. And cin, the purpose of cin is to read something from the keyboard into your program. It is also a function. So these two functions, where they have defined inside the std namespace, inside the std namespace, and where that std namespace, default namespace, is residing means inside your IOStream header file. Inside your IOStream, input output stream header file. So under that header file, we have this std namespace, and under that namespace only they have defined, they have written the code for this cout and cin. That is the reason why whenever you are calling that cout and cin inside your program, immediately they will check for the namespace. Immediately they will check for the namespace. In some traditional compilers, in some classical compilers like your Turbo C++, yeah, this using this namespace std is not mandatory. Using this std namespace is not mandatory, because by default in those header files, whatever header files we have for the Turbo C++, by default the namespace is std only. By default, even if you don't include that namespace std, by default the namespace is std. That is the reason why we are not including that using namespace std in Turbo C++ compiler. But whereas in Dev CPP, there is no default namespace. There is no default namespace. Even though if you include the header file iostream.h into your program, iostream into your program, there is a need to write that using namespace std, because there is no default namespace in this Dev C++. Clear? So that is the reason why on top of every program, after including the IOStream, we are definitely writing, it is a must and should condition. It is a mandatory statement that you have to include using namespace std inside your program. So then only that cout, cin, and rest of, there are many things. So far we used only that cout and cin. All those things will become available inside your program. And the operator new and delete, these two are also defined under that std namespace only. So if you don't include that std namespace into your program, they will not become available. These things will not become available. Okay, so let us assume that we want to separate our scope, we want to create our own scope inside the program. Then we have to go for this namespace. Okay, so uh, yeah, you can create any number of namespaces inside your program. It is not compulsory that you have to have only that std default namespace, and under that only you have to work. You can create your own user defined namespace by following some syntaxes under your C++ programming. So when you are creating multiple namespaces, there is a flexibility of using the same identifiers under that common namespace. So that I will explain with the help of one simple example. So we will go for this whiteboard application. So here let us assume that inside one simple program, okay, this entire thing, let us assume this entire scope is your simple program. So what we are doing, we are including our include statement, isn't it? Hash include, then we are writing IO stream, like this we are including our IO stream, then we are writing namespace using namespace std. So this is your default scope, this is your default namespace scope, you're starting at this point. So under this namespace you can nest, you can have any number of user defined namespaces, any number of user defined namespaces. So over here what I am doing, I'm creating one namespace. Let us assume that namespace name is some xyz, or uh, for our understanding we'll say first space. Okay, first space, I'm creating one namespace with name first space, with name first space. So here what I am doing, inside this first space namespace, there is a syntax that we will discuss very soon, how we are going to create this first space namespace, that we will discuss very soon. So let us assume I have created first space namespace, and under it we are going to create some functions. Let us assume some abc function and some abc function and the suitable code I am writing, and then some xyz function, xyz function, and I'm creating some n- code for that one, and I'm declaring one variable int a into it, int a into this namespace. Then I'm closing. This is not a class, don't consider it as a class, because class is a static entity, and whenever we have to use that class in our programming, we have to create the object for that one, we have to allocate the memory for that one. But whereas this namespaces, it is nowhere related to your classes, they are entirely some different things. Very soon you will understand. So I'm creating another namespace, and that namespace I'm calling it as second, second space, second underscore space, second underscore space. And yeah, here also we have to follow the syntax, and under that second space you can use any number of functions, and you don't have to worry, you don't have to bother about naming conflict, because every time whenever we are writing a function name, we are taking an identifier, we are bothering about, I mean we are thinking about, are we override, I mean are we conflicting any name in our programming? So there is a possibility that we are going to conflict a particular name from this IO stream as well, isn't it? Inside this IO stream we have different identifiers for user defined functions, for user defined operators, and for user defined, sorry, for predefined functions, for predefined operators, as well as for predefined what we call I mean data elements, predefined data members. So there is a possibility that we can create conflict for the compiler. So to avoid that type of conflict, we are going for these namespaces. Now, when you are taking this namespace, under this you can take any identifier without the hesitation that it is going to create a conflict in your programming. So it is completely a different scope. It is completely a different scope. Inside the same scope, I mean inside this std scope, we are creating a different scope, and this different scope is nowhere going to conflict the predefined scope or other scopes whatever the other users are creating inside your application. Okay, so here I have created the second scope, and over here also you can have this pqr. I'm taking one different function name pqr and suitable code, and I'm taking now same function name abc, abc. But if you don't use these namespaces, then what will happen, this abc and this abc, because they both comes under the same program, they both comes under the same scope, they will create naming conflict, they will create naming conflict. Okay, but now here it will not create any naming conflict. So let us assume already we have cout. The purpose of cout is to print something on the output screen, so isn't it? So I'm taking one function over here with name cout, and I'm defining the code for this one. and I'm defining the code for this one. Clear? I'm defining the code for this cout function. So right now, when I'm going to use, yeah, out of the, yeah, all these things where I kept, yeah, these three I kept, PQR, ABC, and this cout function I kept inside the second space. And inside this first space, I have ABC, I have XYZ. Like this I have. So now what I'm doing is inside my main, here I'm writing my main function. Inside my main, int, okay, int main of void. Inside my main, what I'm doing, I'm calling, I'm printing a statement, or I'm calling cout. So first we'll discuss the simple thing, then we'll go for this one. Now I'm calling ABC. So generally what will happen when we call ABC like this, as we are not using any namespace over here, we are not telling the compiler to use this ABC from where, isn't it? So what will happen? This ABC will create a confusion in your programming. This ABC will create a confusion for the compiler. So immediately what the compiler will do, it will raise an exception. I did not find any code associated with this ABC function. Okay, so your compiler will raise an exception. So what we have to do, we have to make this ABC's location more specific. This ABC's location more specific. How can I make that one? Means with the help of this namespace. I have to qualify this ABC by using this first space if you want to call this ABC from this first space. Or I have to qualify this ABC from the second space if you want to call this ABC from the second space. In that way, we can separate, we can have different scopes under the same program using this namespaces concept. And whenever we are creating a different scope, we are becoming free, free of the burden of taking the same name for different for different objects in our programming. Those objects, they can be member functions, they can be data members, or they can be classes. Clear? So in short, what we are doing by creating the namespace is we are creating a separate scope. That only I have explained over here. See, to differentiate, yeah, in our example, generally to differentiate both the students with same name, what we are doing, either we are using their mobile numbers, their father names, their mother name, their area of staying, their like that we are using, or the standard roll number given by the university, that also we are making use, isn't it? In that way we are solving our situation of naming conflict in real world in your class. But whereas in programming, in order to solve the naming conflict situation, what we are doing, we are going for namespaces, concept called namespaces. So that I have explained over here with the help of an example, a simple example. Let me take the pointer over here. So as you can see over here, the code that has a function called XYZ here, XYZ, and there is another library available which is also having the same function XYZ. So XYZ, we are taking in two different locations. One is inside our code and the other one is inside the library. This library, the predefined one, isn't it? Whenever we are saying library, that means it is a predefined one. We have a function with name XYZ as a predefined, and we are also taking XYZ in our own code. So now the compiler has no way of knowing which version of XYZ it has to refer. Whenever you are calling XYZ in your programming, so there is a confusion to call or to raise which version of XYZ in your programming. Which version of XYZ in your programming. So to avoid this type of conflict, we are going for namespaces. So a namespace is designed to overcome this difficulty and is used as additional information to differentiate similar functions. Okay, additional information to differentiate similar functions, classes, variables, etc. Not only, see, wherever we are using identifiers, whenever we are saying naming conflict, that is nothing but your identifier conflict. So In programming language, identifiers are nothing but names. Identifiers are nothing but nouns, isn't it? Identifiers are nothing but your names. So whenever there is a naming conflict, whenever there is an identifier conflict, we are going for namespaces concept with the same name in different libraries. So namespaces, they are giving a flexibility of taking the same names in different scopes. Okay, so this statement you try to fix whenever you see this namespaces concept, you try to fix this statement in your minds. So namespaces are giving a flexibility of taking the same names. Okay, namespaces are giving the flexibility of taking the same names. Those are nothing but same identifiers under different scopes. Okay, under different scopes. Using namespaces, what we are doing means we are creating different context. Okay, so as you can see this last term over here, a namespace defines a scope. A namespace defines a scope, or we can say a new scope. A namespace, whenever you use a new namespace under your program, it will define a new scope for your reference. It will define a new scope for your reference. So as it is a new scope, you don't have to bother about what function names we are having under predefined libraries, or what function names we are having under other user libraries, under other programmer libraries, because we can also write our own library files. We can also write our own library files, and we can include those library files under our program. So when you are taking the help of your team leader in the project implementation, and you are taking the library file of your team leader, you don't know the names, isn't it? You don't know the function names, what functions he might have used under that library. And you don't want to open that library, and you don't want to see all those functions, unnecessary functions, isn't it? Because he's going to write some thousands of lines of code, and under that thousands of lines of code, maybe he's using some hundreds of function names, isn't it? Hundreds of function names. So if you include that file in your program, definitely you have to bother about, if without these namespaces, definitely you have to bother about those hundreds of names whenever you are taking a new identifier under your program. Otherwise, what will happen? If you don't bother about those names, what will happen? A naming conflict will occur. So to avoid this situation, we are going for namespaces. So right now what I will do, or what you will do means, you simply include that team leader's header file under your program, and you start writing your code under a new namespace. Okay, and you start writing your own code under a new namespace, so that whatever code you will write, whatever identifiers you will take, they will not conflict with the library files as well as with your team leader files, with library file identifiers as well as your team leader identifiers. Hope you got the situation. Hope you got the understanding why we are going for namespaces, and what is the motto behind using these namespaces, and what are the problems we are avoiding by using these namespaces in our programming. Okay, so simply a namespace will create a new scope under your program, a new scope under your program, where you can work freely without the problem of naming conflict, where you can work freely, where you can write the code freely, where you can take the identifiers freely without the problem of naming conflict. Okay, so defining a namespace, it is very simple. Just we have to use that keyword namespace. We have to use the keyword namespace followed by the namespace name. And here namespace name, once again it is an identifier. Once again it is an identifier. A namespace definition begins with the keyword namespace followed by the namespace name as follows. And this syntax you have to follow whenever you are defining a new namespace in your program. So namespace followed by the namespace name, and a set of curly brackets you have to use to give the scope of that namespace, to define the scope of that namespace, and where the scope of this namespace will begin means, and here the namespace scope will begin, and here it will end. Under it, whatever code you are going to declare, under it, whatever code you are going to write, that entire code will become a part of this namespace name, a part of this namespace name. Clear? So in this way, we can define the namespace. Simply what keyword we have to use? The keyword namespace itself we have to use. So to call now whatever functions we have inside that namespace, or whatever code we have under that namespace, whatever data members we have under that namespace, to call them or to get the functionality from them, we have to use the scope resolution operator. Okay, what operator we use? Scope resolution operator we use. So in our scenario over here, if you want this ABC to come from this first namespace, if you want this ABC to come from this first space, then what we have to do? Simply use like this. First space, yeah, here you have to use first space underscore, first underscore space colon this is scope resolution operator ABC. So now this is using like this is the wrong way, because your compiler will get confused, but doing like this is the right way, because now your compiler will understand that we have to call, that it has to call this ABC from first space namespace. It has to call this ABC from this first space namespace. So in this way we are avoiding the naming conflict by taking the same name itself. We are taking the same name in both the namespaces. Here also I have taken ABC, and here also I have taken ABC. But how I am avoiding this naming conflict means by simply using the first, specific namespace name as the qualifier of my function call, as the qualifier of my function call. In this way, this function will get invoked. Clear? In this function will get invoked from first space namespace. Okay, hopefully you got the situation. When we see the example program, there you will understand it very clearly. So quickly we'll go one simple example. We'll study one simple example for this namespaces so that you will understand the concept thoroughly. So let me just open that Dave CPP compiler for you. Okay, so I will start writing that namespace program over here. So yes, as usual, IO stream, then we have to write our using namespace std. Okay, then int main of void. So what I'm doing, yeah, in this program I'm creating two different namespaces. The first space, as I have explained in the example, and the second space. So how I can create, what keyword I have to use when I'm creating a new namespace is the keyword namespace itself. So name space space, give some space and take the identifier for that namespace. So my identifier first underscore space, first space. So in it I'm taking one function void ABC. Okay, and under it I'm typing I'm one simple statement, that is inside first space, inside first space, that's it, first space. Okay, so one simple statement I am printing. So this is my first space. So right now what I'm doing, I'm creating another space, namespace second underscore space. I'm creating another space, second space. In it, what I'm doing, I'm taking the same function ABC. Okay, so here you take the same statement. Okay, let me just see out of inside second underscore space. So like this. So now, yep, I have created two namespaces. One is with name first space and other one is with name second space. I have created two namespaces. So under that two namespaces, two different namespaces, I'm having two different functions. I'm having two different functions. Okay, with same name. Okay, under two different namespaces, I'm having two different functions, but their names are same, ABC and ABC. So inside this main, when I try to invoke ABC, generally what will happen? Your compiler will raise exception, isn't it? Your compiler will raise error because it gets confused from where it has to call this ABC, because it is not having any ABC under this std namespace. Under this std namespace, because out of these namespaces, whatever code you are going to write, that code will come under this std, isn't it? Under this std. So right now, whatever ABC function I'm trying to call, the compiler will think that I'm calling this ABC from this std. I'm calling this ABC from this std. As this ABC is not there under this std, your compiler will generate error. So quickly we see what it will do, or is it going to behave in a different way, that we will see. See here, int main, ABC was not declared in this scope. If you're able to see this statement, if you're able to read this statement, you see over here, ABC was not declared in this scope. In this scope means, according to the program, according to the compiler, what scope? According to the compiler, what scope? Yes, this std scope. He's talking about this std's scope. Under this std scope, we don't have any such ABC function. That is the reason why it is giving that error. Clear? So what we have to do? Yeah, we have to call this function ABC either from this first space or from this second space. Either from this first space or from this second space. How can we call that? Means, yeah, here simply put that one. If you want to call that function from this first space, simply qualify the function name with that namespace. So first space followed by the scope resolution. Like this you can call. Like this you can call. Now what will happen? Yeah, your compiler will invoke this ABC function from this first space. So quickly see that one. Saving the program, compile. Compilation is successful. Now you execute. It will take some time. Yeah, we got inside first space, because we wrote the same statement inside this first space ABC function. We wrote that statement only, isn't it? Inside first space. So that is the reason why it is invoking this ABC function from this first space namespace. From this first space namespace. So suppose if you want to invoke this ABC function from this second space namespace, simply what we have to do, here you put, in place of first, you put second. So now what will happen? Yeah, this ABC function will be invoked from this second space namespace. And what it is printing from second space namespace, this ABC function is printing inside second space. So yeah, we have to get that inside second space namespace. Inside second space namespace, we have to get on the output screen. So quickly go and run, and you see the difference. Yeah, you will get that inside second space namespace, like that. So in this way, the namespaces are helpful in order to avoid the naming conflict. In order to avoid the naming conflict. So now we will study some more about these namespaces. Some more things in detail about these namespaces. The using directive. So the purpose of using this using directive is to avoid the prepending of namespaces. Okay, so prepending in the sense, once a namespace is already active and you're trying to use another namespace so in order to avoid that kind of prepending, we are going for this using directive. Okay, yeah, this directive tells the compiler that the subsequent code is making use of namespace under which you are specifying the code. Whatever code you are trying to write, under what namespace you are writing. That subsequent code, under what namespace you are writing, using this using directive, we are going to tell the compiler. So first we have included using namespace std. So that statement is telling that whatever code you are supposed to write, that entire code will come under that std namespace, so suppose if you start another namespace under that std namespace, then what will happen? The subsequent code will become the part of that std as well as the higher std. Okay, that namespace as well as the global std, we can say the global std. So in that sense, this using directive is going to help. So I will show you. So what we are doing, yeah, we are writing, first we are writing using namespace std, like this we are starting. So what will happen? Yeah, inside your program a new scope will be started and this entire scope will become std. So yeah, this entire scope will become std. So next what I am doing, I'm writing my own space, that is namespace first space. So under this I'm writing some code. Okay, then what I am doing after writing that code, using, okay, namespace std, no, not std, first space, like this I am doing. So now what will happen? Yeah, inside this std a new scope will be created, a new scope will be created, and the subsequent code, subsequent in the sense whatever code you are going to write here, that code will become, yeah, whatever code you are going to write before this first space, that will become the part of std only. And whatever code you are going to write after this namespace, that will also become the part of std only. But whatever code you are going to write inside this first space using namespace first space, that code will become the part of both the things. Okay, this is your first space, this is your first space, first underscore space. So whatever code you are going to write here, this code, this particular code will become the part of not only first space but also the part of std. So like that, but also the part of std. So it is going to have both the features, whatever features you have declared inside this std as well as whatever feature you have declared inside this first space, both the features you are going to get under this code, these three lines of code. Like that you have to remember. So here the same thing we are going to do in our programming. So the using directive tells the compiler that whatever subsequent code you are going to write, that will become the part of the specified namespace. Whatever namespace you are specifying, under that namespace only the subsequent code will come. In that way, the using directive is going to help us. So right now, so if you are making, or if you are opening a particular namespace using this using directive, if you are opening the scope of a particular namespace using this using directive, then no need to write your ABC function with that namespace. Then no need to write that ABC, no need to qualify your ABC function with that namespace if you are calling that ABC from that same namespace. So we will discuss in terms of coding that one. So here what I have done, here I have written yeah, two namespaces, first space as well as the second space. So here what I am doing, I am starting using using namespace, namespace, okay, first underscore space. So a new space got started, a new space got started, which is a part of your std only. So like this. So here if I don't put this second space and I'm keeping only ABC, because my current scope, current active scope is what? Name first scope, isn't it? First space is currently active. First space is currently active. So whatever ABC function I am going to invoke, this ABC function will get invoked from this first space only. Okay, from this first space only. Quickly see that one. So compile and run. See, inside first space, we got like that. So ABC function, from where we are getting this output, from where this ABC function is invoking means from this first space only. Because inside first space only, the ABC function is printing this statement inside first space. So let us assume now you want to invoke the ABC function which is there inside second space. So now what you have to do? Yeah, again, because it is not under your first space, you have to qualify the ABC with second space underscore, right? Second underscore space qualifier then ABC. So like this you have to. So we'll see whether what output it will give. Close this one, compile. You successfully compiled. So here we'll get from first space, inside first space, and here we'll get inside second space. So both the statement we are expecting on the output screen. So inside first space and then inside second space. As we have not used any endl statement or any new line statement, both the statements we are getting in the same line. Inside first space and followed by inside second space. Hope you got the um, yes, advantage of using this using directive. So it simply starts whatever scope you have defined. In order to initiate that scope, in order to start that scope, we are using this using directive. We are using this using directive. It will come, the code, whatever we are going to write, the subsequent code, it will come under this first space only. So whatever functions you are going to use directly over here, first the compiler will check for those functions under this first space, and if those functions are not available inside this first space, then this ABC call will go to this STD. Okay, the topmost what we call namespace in your levels, in your scope levels. In that way, the control will check for the function call, function bodies from function call. So this is another thing using the using directive. So next thing we have, yes, without including that using directive, how we are calling that functions means by simply making use of that uh, uh, namespace name followed by the scope resolution operator. Namespace name followed by the scope resolution operator. To understand that one, let us assume this cout I'm using over here. It is a function. It is a part of your STD, isn't it? Cout is a function which is a part of the STD namespace. STD namespace. And let us assume that I have not included this STD namespace in my program. So what I'm doing, I'm keeping that STD namespace under comment. So immediately what will happen? I will get an exception that cout is not defined in your program because I'm not including the STD namespace, standard namespace, default namespace. So I will get an exception for this cout, and here also I will get an exception for cout. Likewise, I will get two exceptions, two errors, two error conditions in my program. See that one. Cout is not defined, not declared in this scope. Cout is not declared in this scope. So what I have to do, I have to qualify that cout by using the suitable namespace. So what is my namespace where the cout is defined under STD? My namespace name is STD. So qualify that. So put STD scope resolution. So now this cout got qualified. Now this cout got qualified. We are using the same strategy how I have done, how we discussed in my previous example. Okay, how we discussed for user defined namespaces, how we are calling the internal functions. In that same way, for predefined functions also, I'm using the standard namespace in that way only, like user defined namespace. So quickly try to understand what will happen now. The compiler will generate one more exception because here again this cout is not defined, not qualified. So what I have to do, I have to use the suitable namespace where the cout is defined. So this cout is defined under this STD. So now it will get qualified. So now you see execute, compile, the compilation is successful. Now go and run to get the usual output. See, now you will get that inside first namespace and inside second namespace in that way. Clear? Hope you got the understanding how we are using this using directive and how we are without the using directive, how we can qualify a specific function call from which namespace it do belongs, isn't it? It does belongs. In that way we can make use of these namespaces whenever it is required. Okay, whenever it is required. So in our next class, we'll be discussing the concept called templates, and after that exception handling, hopefully. So yeah, if you have any doubts, you can post in the comment section, and you can subscribe my channel to get the updates. Thank you, students.